Are you noticing some performance issues on your Framer sites, or you just generally want to make sure that your websites are following all best practices? Well, actually Framer does a bunch of work in the background for us just to make sure that our sites run smooth. However, there are a few things that we can also do to make sure they're nicely optimized and ready to launch. In this video, I'm showing you a few of those things. My name is Nandi, this is Framer University, and let's get started. Okay, so the first thing that we have to pay attention to is the image sizes. So for example, here I have my Finder open and you can see that I have an image file. The big problem that I have with this is that it's super large in file size. It's 8.5 megabytes. And whenever I see a website that has a little bit of a slower speed or something like that, I usually first take a look at the image sizes, because that is a big red flag if they have these large images. You could be looking at the image format and stuff like that, but usually Framer does a bunch of stuff for us in the background. So for example, they auto convert your files or images to most performant formats, so you don't really have to pay attention to that. You can just upload a JPEG and it's going to be great. However, there's another thing that you have to really pay attention to, which is the image resolution or the dimensions of the image. That's how you can really cut that file size down. So in this case, this image is actually really large. It's over 4,000 pixels in width, which is really large. You just always have to think about how big is this image going to be on my website. So let's just put it here on the Framer canvas. I'm just going to drag and drop it onto my project, and you will already see that it is just extremely large. You can see that how much bigger it is compared to my breakpoints. So if I place it within this desktop breakpoint, you can see that it just doesn't make any sense. And it's not even 4,000 pixels in width right here, it's only 2,000. So you just have to resize the image here on the canvas and just see what is going to be the size for this. So maybe I want to use it on this size, and we can say that it doesn't even have to be over 1,000 pixels. So for this we could export it as something like 1,000 pixels in width. So what is an easy way to do that? Well, I use Raycast, which is an extension or like an app for Mac. If you don't have that, I'm going to show you another way as well. But if you have this, you just go to the store, you just download image modification as like an extension for Raycast. And then what you can do is you can, for example, duplicate this image that you have, and you can just open Raycast and write resize image, and then you just write in 1000. And then you hit enter, and as you can see now, this image copy is resized. I'm going to just rename it to resized. You can see that the size got so much smaller. It's only 300 kilobytes. And you can see that the dimensions are now 1000 and 1500. And yeah, much better. We can now drag and drop this onto our project, and it's not going to take us so long to load this website now, because the images are much lighter. So if you don't have this extension or Raycast on your device, you can just go to any website online, just search for, I don't know, resize image online or something like that, and you're going to probably find something. So I just search for resize image online, and probably one of these will work really nicely. You just probably upload your image here and it's going to resize it for you, or use Photoshop or whatever. I think you're going to figure this out really easily. Once you uploaded your image in proper size, what you also need to do is go to the right panel, click this fill here, and just make sure that the resolution here is set to auto, because if you set it to full or large or something like that, Framer will not really optimize it for you automatically. So just leave it on auto and it's going to be all good. And basically just a general rule for the width of the image, I usually don't use anything wider than 2500 pixels, because if you think about it, you're not going to show those images in larger size, so they're not really going to take up 2500 pixels in width. So why have larger widths and just make your files too large? So yeah, pay attention to this, really important. The next thing we have to keep in mind is the video files. Videos are a little bit harder. Framer doesn't really optimize them automatically. With images, they do some conversions and stuff like that, optimizations for you. But videos, well, usually what you upload is what you see on the website. So the way you can use videos, by the way, in case you don't know, you just press I on your keyboard, search for video, and just drag and drop the video component onto the canvas. And then on the right panel, you can upload the video or just set a link or something. And that's how you're going to have a video on your site. When you're uploading a video, that's also going to have a file size. And if it's too large, then again, we are in big trouble. So as you can see, I have a video, it's almost 1 minute, I think, and it is almost 50 megabytes. Sorry, almost 60 megabytes, and that's just too big. So we just cannot have such a large file on our website. So really have to cut it down somehow. So I'm going to show you a couple of ways of how you can do this, and then I'm going to also show you some alternatives if you still want to have like high quality video or maybe even longer videos on your websites. So for example, we have this video here. I'm going to just duplicate it. I'm going to call it resized, and we're going to work with this one just so then we can, you know, compare the two. So I have a website that I usually visit, which is freeconvert.com. I usually use their video compressor. So I just upload the file here, and then we're going to wait a couple of seconds, and it is going to basically compress the file for us. So you can see we can download the file. It says we saved 46%, so it's pretty good. So let's see what we have. So as you can see, video resized 1. This is the file that I downloaded, and it is 32 megabytes, which is already much better, but still too large for our website. We can also take a look at the quality of the video, which is still pretty good. And so what do we do in this case? Well, we can compress it even more with another tool. So I'm going to show you another tool, which is called Cloud Convert. So it's not really a compressor, it converts files, but we can set some specific settings when we are converting. So we basically convert for MP4 to MP4. We just drag and drop our 32 megabyte file here, and then we click this little icon, and this is where we can change some of the things that we really need to change. So basically we're just going to drop the resolution to something smaller, so maybe full HD, and then we can also change the, what else? Maybe this quality, just to make sure it's a little bit lower quality. And then what else? We can also change the FPS, so maybe it can be 24 in case if it's 60. And yeah, these are just some other changes that will probably make the file size a little bit smaller. So let's see. So as you can see, this is the result. You can see it got a little bit distorted, probably because the resolution changed. But we're going to just download it and see the file size, because that is what really matters to us. And you can see video resized 2, this is our file that we just downloaded, and now it's only 1.6 megabytes, which is much better than what we had originally. And you can see that still the resolution is not that bad. Of course, it's not going to be like 4K or whatever. Like, we want to place this on the website, and yeah, we just have to keep in mind the file size. So that's why we have to really make it maybe a little bit lower in quality. But yeah, we, as you can see, ended up with a better sized file. If you still need to cut it down, you can trim it. So you can use a trim. So you can just decrease the video length here. You can see that it cuts the file size as well. And when you're like really want to have a longer video in high quality on your page, make sure to use some sort of embed, either Vimeo or YouTube or something like that. You can press I on your keyboard inside of Framer and just search for YouTube or Vimeo. These are also super easy to use components. You can just drag and drop them, and then you can embed your Vimeo links or YouTube links here. And you know, it's not gonna make your site heavier because you're actually getting the files from somewhere else, either YouTube or Vimeo. So yeah, that's about videos. Okay, so the next thing is SVGs. Which is really interesting. I actually didn't really realize this one. I just tested it, and it looks like it makes a big difference. So you can see that I have 2 of these Framer logos here. One is an image, and the other one is an SVG. On the left one we have an SVG, on the right one we have an image. It looks pretty much identical. However, the right one is 20 kilobytes. The left one is only 300, a little bit over 300 bytes. And you know, it might not be like a big change, but if you have like hundreds of these images / SVGs, it can really make a big difference of like, you know, converting some of your images to SVGs. Another thing that we have with SVGs, another advantage, is that we can scale them up without losing quality. So this is an example where we cannot really see the difference, but basically if you could somehow zoom further, we could see that the SVG is not getting pixelated whatsoever. However, the image will be, will start getting pixelated at a certain point because it is made up of pixels and SVG is made up of vectors. And so that it's not going to be, pixelated like ever. So whenever you have like a logo or something like that, or illustration or something, or a decoration that can be easily converted into an SVG, just make sure to do that. However, also make sure to pay attention to SVG size or the file size of the SVG, because in some cases, if you have a bunch of fancy stuff within the SVG, like effects and like blur or I don't know, stuff like that, those file sizes can also get a little bit larger. So make sure to always compare the two, but generally SVGs shouldn't take up too much space. So next one is scripts. So basically, if you go to your site settings on the top right, and you go to general on the left, and you scroll down, you're going to see your site custom code. And in here, for example, in the head tag or in the body tag, you might have some scripts, some code. So just make sure that you don't have a bunch of like third-party scripts here, because these can really slow down the site load speed. These are usually some trackers, or like, I don't know, you use some third-party app that requires you to put some code in the head tag or something like that. Yeah, just make sure that, I think it also says here. No, it doesn't say here. Okay, whatever. Yeah, just make sure that, yeah, you're not overusing these third-party scripts, because they usually, or they can slow your site down a little bit. The next thing you have to pay attention to is animations. So, these type of animations that we see on site load, or when we scroll down, like scroll animations and stuff like that. It is nice to have some animations on our websites just to make sure that there is some movement and our site is a little bit more interesting. However, if we start adding these animations to all of our elements on the website, it can get a little bit heavy on the browsers, and it might slow down certain devices that are not like, I don't know, macOS devices or like the latest Apple M chips and stuff like that. So yeah, keep in mind that not everyone has the laptop that you are having, and sometimes it might be better or like it might be a great idea to test your websites on low-end devices as well, just to see if it runs smooth, it runs well, because in case it doesn't, you might need to remove some of those animations or interactions that you have on the site. Okay, so the next one is embeds. Basically, embeds are used with the embed components. So again, if you go to the insert panel and drag and drop the embed, you can embed URLs or HTML code here. So again, this is also used for some third-party things, such as like embedding like a checkout experience or some sort of overlay or something like that. So I know that sometimes it is really necessary to use this. However, when your site is feeling a little bit too slow, it might be a great idea to check your embeds and see if those are the cause of your site being super slow. Because what you have to understand that whenever you have an embed on your site essentially has to load a new website on top of your normal website because of the embed. So that's why it can be a little bit heavy. Usually Framer optimizes these for you. However, some bad behaving embeds can still cause some errors and performance issues. So yeah, make sure to check these if you have any issues on your site. Okay, so the next one is something that you might have not even thought about, which is blur. So if you have, for example, a card on your website like this right here, and you have a shadow on that which has a really high blur value, like 100, this can actually be really bad for your website, and it can slow it down. Of course, especially if you have a bunch of these cards with all having 100 blur values. So blur is the thing that is really hard for computers to calculate, and when you have these large values, especially on more elements, it can really weigh down your computer. So if you really want to use these large blur values on shadows or like background blur or any sort of thing that has the blur in its name, then you might be better off using images. So for example, in this case, when you say, okay, Nandi, I really want to have this layout where I have this crazy blur, like this shadow, which actually has blur on the cards, what do I do then? So you just wrap it inside of a frame with Command and Enter, and then you make sure that this frame within is not pinned, and then you just make this frame a little bit larger. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna just export it as an image. So export PNG, and then we're gonna use this instead of using the card itself with the blur. Let me export it right here. You can see that the export will probably not look too good because we have cut off the shadow. So we just have to make this frame a little bit larger just to make sure that all the blur are included. So I'm gonna just export it again, and then we can just drag and drop it here. And as you can see, we have this on our website, and it still has the blur, but it's not gonna be hard on the computers. So it's gonna run smooth even if you have a bunch of these cards. It might be a little bit pixelated here, so when exporting this, you can make sure that maybe export it with 2x or 3x to scale it up a bit. But yeah, generally when you want to use these large build values for shadows, for example, you are better off just exporting them as PNGs and using them like that on your websites. So yeah, that's it for this video. I really do hope that it was helpful and that I could help you optimize your site in case it was a little bit slow. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. Check out Frame.University University for other tutorials, resources, remixes, components, and cool stuff. And yeah, like this video, subscribe for more, and I'm gonna see you in the next one.